Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup with me, Niraj Shah. A bit of a benign day today anticipated, which is great news. Now, let's start with the did you know? And I'm guessing most of you, this is very recent development, just happened this morning. But look at the valuations. OpenAI is said to be discussing raising funds at a valuation of only $150 billion. $150 billion valuation for OpenAI. Quite something, isn't it? But yeah, this shows that AI is alive and kicking. Even if the chip demand may be slowing down a little bit, artificial intelligence is really booming. So interesting development and something that all of us will focus on. Now, okay, what's the global news flow? Let's take stock of the global news flow before we get to the markets. The core US inflation picked up, damping the odds of an outsized rate cut. So maybe not 50 basis points, maybe 25. But to my mind, I think a rate cut is definitely coming, and which is why the US markets recovered yesterday. We'll talk about that a bit. ECB set to cut interest rates ahead of Fed's big decision. I think the ECB meet is 16th and 17th, and the Fed is 17th and 18th. So I think ECB decision will come in ahead of that. You'll see a rate cut there too. US crude rebound over 2%, closed above the $67 per barrel mark. Brent above $70 a barrel mark. But be that as it may, still in the lower side. Berkshire unloaded another chunk of Bank of America shares. Effectively, the world's most renowned investor is really taking chips off the table and sitting on cash. Does it tell you something about market valuations? Maybe it does. But like I said, the US markets actually had a day ended in the green. Even if the futures are in the red, it was a day of recovery, if you will, after the markets first thought that, oh, because the CPI data was higher, will there be no rate cut? Then the markets aligned themselves to the fact that maybe there will be a smaller rate cut, but a rate cut there will be. Asia starting off green, Nikkei 3% higher. The rest of the Asian markets too looking very, very positive. We'll probably have a gap up on our markets too. A start about 127 points in the green. Heaving a sigh of relief because we've been talking about the fact that the possibilities of an upside are still stacked up. And I think that's what we probably see in today's session as well. So what's the trade setup looking like? I think a positive trade is likely. Smart money, though, is skimming profits of very lucrative trades at very high levels. So bear that in mind. Maybe, just maybe at these levels, taking some money off the table, if not the entire chunk of your trading positions, is very, very advisable. The Nifty Bank, remember, continues to see resistance at 51,500. We marked this 2 days ago, the day after the Nifty Bank went up 1%. That it's very difficult to call a sustained rally in the Bank Nifty simply because the template in the minds of people is that banks ko upar se becho. I think that is what is happening, and hence that 51,500 was such a strong point of resistance that we closed at 51,460 or thereabouts, but we couldn't go above 51,500. So that's the problem, and I think that continues to be the key point of resistance for the Nifty Bank to my view. And looking at pockets, yesterday we've seen actually instead of wind Nifty energy, even if we show the prices of Suzlon, and we'll show that in a minute, but wind equipment space is seeing some very strong buying, but I must say that the valuations are stretched. Now you look at Suzlon, look at Inox, look at Inox Wind, look at Inox Wind Energy and the kind of gains that those stocks have had. It's been crazy. 5% up for Suzlon yesterday, 5% up for Suzlon day before. Very strong order win that the stock has gotten as well. But I think the valuations now leave a bit to be desired. So just be careful with some of these stocks, to be very honest. Inox Wind was down, Inox Wind Energy was marginally in the green, but Suzlon, some very strong buying in these stocks the last couple of days. Just be careful with the valuations on some of these for sure. Look at that bump up in that stock. Okay, what about specific pockets to watch out for in the session today? I think that's what we've got to watch out for. Honasa, there's a block deal of 207 crore at a floor price of 480 per share, about an 8% discount. Watch out for this one. Ended in the red yesterday, could be interesting. Root Mobile is the other one, wherein promoter Proximus Opal is going to sell up to 6% stake via an offer for sale at 1635. So in or around the current prices, presumably. Maybe if this gets absorbed well, then this could be positive for Root Mobile as well. Let's wait and watch. Shyam Metallics. Now, viewers, I just urge you a little bit of caution here. I'm highlighting this still because the press releases in our mailboxes came in post-market hours yesterday. So I'm highlighting this. However, the press release is dated 9th September. But even on the exchanges, the releases as of 9th September don't show this. So I'm highlighting this. Please ignore this if you find proof of this having released on the 9th September and having been discussed already. But this is not a day trade thing, so I'm comfortable in highlighting this because Shyam Metallics has given a very solid guidance for what could happen in the days and the months and the years to come. They say that they foresee 3x revenue growth up to 40,000 crores by FY29. 3x in 5 years is a very strong growth performance that Shyam has put out. They say that expansion into stainless steel and aluminum in 5 years will also happen. This might all happen at pretty decent margins as well. It's a very long release. I can't lay out all of that, obviously, for time constraints. But the first line is the key, that here's a metal company, a mid-sized metal company saying that they foresee that the revenue will go up 3x in 5 years. So I would suspect that Shyam will see a reaction today. Even if the press release was 9th September, I don't recollect seeing a very large move on this stock. So very likely the move could happen today. Watch out for this. Look at that. I mean, the last 5 days or in 1 month, right? The stock has hardly done anything. So be careful, be mindful of this. There might be a bit of a reaction that you might see in Shyam Metallics today. Stuffcraft in a Batlivala and Karani conference has put out this guidance saying that the FY25 revenue growth will be about 12 to 15% led by festive demand in Q2 and Q3. And the gross margin will stabilize to about 38% in FY25. EBITDA margins about 11%. This is not a release by Batlivala and Karani as a note, but it is something that the management said in a conference, in Batlivala and Karani conference. So bear that in mind. May react a little bit in the session today. NBCC has signed an MOU with MTNL to develop a 13.88 acre land parcel in New Delhi valued at 1,600 crores. Watch out for this one. Yet again, a good positive development, may reverse the losses that it had yesterday. Tata Steel, this is formal now. It signed a £500 million grant funding agreement with the UK government for Port Talbot Green Steel project. Now, we put out this news yesterday that it's very likely to get, it was not official. Official post-market hours, does it revive the stock or rev it up a little bit? Maybe. If it does, you should know why. GE certainly seems to be active. €55 million order from Dubai-based Grid Solutions for supply of high voltage products. So I think this is something that I will certainly keep an eye out for in the session today. Both the orders, it's two orders essentially. Both the orders are for supply of high voltage products. Both the orders are for 5 years. One is from France, one is from Grid Solutions, Middle East, Dubai. I will certainly watch out for GTND in the session today. MedPlus has a bit of a negative news to itself. Arm Optival Health has gotten 2 drug license suspension orders for stores in Bangalore and Karnataka. Yet another dampener for MedPlus. It's something that I'll watch out for. HPCL has revised the cost of the Vizag refinery modernization project to about 30,609 crores. So this stock ended 3% yesterday, lower yesterday. This is one more piece of negative news, but almost all brokerages seem constructive on oil marketing companies. I wonder if the gap up today revives the fortunes of this stock, so do keep an eye out for this one as well. Lastly, Welspun Corp, Man Industries and Jindal SAW. The government has extended the anti-subsidy duty on imports of welded stainless steel pipes and tubes from China and Vietnam for an additional 5 years. I would reckon that these stocks, Welspun, Man, Jindal SAW, all of these could see some bit of a positive reaction to this news today. So do keep an eye out for this too. All in all, viewers, still the bias towards the upside. I maintained that yesterday. Yes, we ended for 0.5% lower, but I think that will get recovered a little bit today. The bias still stays towards the upside. At some point of time, we'll hit overstretched valuation levels on the trading front. I still think there is still some steam left, not maybe in banks, but some of the other sectors. And be careful, especially in sectors where the valuations are extremely stretched. Yes, the momentum looks good for now, but it has happened in the past. The template does get repeated. So please, 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 please be very careful with stretch valuation stocks. Thanks so much for tuning in.